As the sun slowly descended behind the cityscape, Thomas, the owner of a thriving family business, found himself gazing out of his office window. The company he had inherited and nurtured was now a vast enterprise, its influence seeping into various sectors of the German market. However, the glow of success was now being overshadowed with an impending sense of doom. It began subtly, almost imperceptibly. Small changes in market dynamics, a rise in production costs, and the increasing volatility due to the conflict in Ukraine were initially brushed off as temporary roadblocks. But then the interest rates started to rise, escalating the pressure on his company's financial structure. Reports from the finance team started showing an alarming trend. Profitability was decreasing, cash flow was tightening, and the debt load was growing. Thomas found himself stuck in an unnerving reality. His company was veering towards distress. He was no stranger to challenges. After all, entrepreneurship was a roller coaster ride of highs and lows. But this time the gravity of the situation seemed much deeper, much more real. The business that has been his family's pride and passion for generations was at risk. And the thought of letting it slip through his fingers was unbearable. A recent client meeting stirred a chilling realization in him. This client, a business owner like him, had just emerged from a distress phase. He shared how he'd spent roughly 8 million euros in restructuring costs, money that could have been invested back into the company's recovery. The tale was one of excessive expenditure on advisors, lawyers, and fees, all necessary but painfully expensive steps in the restructuring process. And all that money had to come from the company's own balance sheet, which added salt to the wound. Thomas knew he couldn't let the same happen to his business. He needed to step in before it was too late. The need for early intervention was clear. The distress signals he had ignored or downplayed were now glaringly obvious, and the words of his client echoed in his mind. Early intervention could have saved us. That night, Thomas made a decision. He would not let fear paralyze him. Instead, he chose to transform his fear into a driving force to safeguard his legacy. The road ahead was uncertain, fraught with difficulties and tough decisions, but he would face it head on. He realized he had to do more than just rely on his long-standing tax advisor or family lawyer. The situation called for professional restructuring help. Experts who could guide him through this financial labyrinth and help secure the future of his company. As he turned off the lights in his office, Thomas felt a strange sense of peace. The night might be dark, but he now had a guiding light, a path to potentially salvage his company. The journey would be challenging, but he knew he had taken the first critical step by acknowledging the problem and seeking the right professional help. Thank you for tuning into this engaging narrative presented by Jörg Weidenfeld of Human CEO, a seasoned professional specializing in business turnaround, restructuring, and performance improvement. Mr. Weidenfeld has an extensive repertoire of roles under his belt, including CEO, Chief Restructuring Officer, and Chief Transformation Officer across a diverse range of industries. His expertise also extends to providing personal advisory services to senior leaders, entrepreneurs, and financial stakeholders on an international scale. For more details or to schedule your complimentary first consultation, please connect with Human CEO via LinkedIn.